Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah. Before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. By the end of the year, how are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son. Ask your daughter. How to? Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, my people. LMFI, the International Money Transfer Service, is here to provide you with a simple and efficient money transfer experience with no fees and the best rate in the industry. If you are in the US, UK, and Canada, LMFI is here to serve you and help you transfer money to over 21 countries. In all ramifications, they are better than their competitors. We at the Dr. Damages Show are happy to partner with them to satisfy your needs. To that end, anyone who signs up with them using the referral code DOCTOR will get $30 cash back the first time you send $100 or more. From now until July 10th, 2024, LMFI will enter your name into a raffle draw where you can win an iPhone, Apple Watch, MacBook, gift cards, and others. For an icing on the cake, the first 20 people to use Dr. Damages code DOCTOR will get a signed copy of one of his books, This American Life Safe or Chimamanda, The Adventures of Little Mermaid's African Cousin.
In Nigeria, land of milk and honey, Asian land where history isn't funny. From the Sumerians to the Phoenicians' lore, echoes of greatness our hearts adore. Oh, Nigeria, land of ancient tales, where humanity's story never fails. From the Assyrians to the Persians' reign, in Nigerians embrace legends remain. Land of beginnings where time first unfold. Babylonian wisdom in this ancient world. Egyptian pyramid towering grand. In Nigerians embrace history stands. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian power. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian fire. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian shower. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian wonder. In Nigeria, where the rhythm never sleeps, underneath the African sky, the heartbeat leaps. From Lagos to Abuja, the pulse is strong. In every corner of the land, we sing along. From Delta's sway to the Savannah's grace, every step, every side find its place. With every beat of the drum, a story's told. In Nigerians' heart, the rhythm unfolds. Beneath the palms where the night comes alive, the sound of joy you cannot contrive. In every market square, the melodies entwine. In Nigeria, the soul of music shines. In Nigeria, all the spirits on fire. Drum beats echo, reaching higher and higher. In Nigeria, where the music flows free, come join the dance, feel the energy. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian power. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian fire. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian shower. In Nigeria, come and see Nigerian wonder. Come and see Nigerian power. Nigeria is a land of origin, the beginning of beginning. It's a land flowing with milk and honey. Everything is worth your money, and the people are great and funny. Nigeria, Nigeria, motherland Nigeria. It's time to wake up from slumber. Niger, Aryans, switch on critical thinking. Snap out of religious upbringing. in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian power in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian fire in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian power in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian wonder in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian power in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian fire in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian power in Nigeria. Come and see Nigerian wonder, Nigeria.
So compatriots, Nigeria's call obey to serve our fatherland. We love and strength and faith.
Labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, now so, oh yeah. Alright, so compatriots, Nigeria call obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom. In freedom, in freedom, peace and unity. Arise, my people, arise, my people. With love and strength and faith. With all our hearts and minds we from about to go be down to Benue. From Warri to Lagos.
POV, T-Pain once said.
Oyin, oyin, oyin.
Yes.
T-Pain once said.
Ẹgbẹ́ kìíní ìwà èmi ló kàn. Mo ṣọpẹ́. T-Pain once said.
Recruit 50 million youths into the army. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo. Peter. T-Pain once said.
The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Your dinner will be cassava by a
Tawa. T-Pain once said.
ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ èmi ló kàn.
Mo ṣọpẹ́. T-Pain once said.
Let the poor breath. Don't suffocate us. We have that responsibility.
Lanre.
Larry.
T-Pain once said.
Great Nigeria students. Great. Very good.
POV, T-Pain once said.
Oyin.
Yes.
T-Pain once said.
Ẹgbẹ́ kìíní ìwà èmi ló kàn.
Good morning. Student, I can see you laughing in the background. That's last. last video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location. Thanks for joining. For those of you in the watching us, thanks for joining the first of two broadcasts that we have today. We're starting on a lighter mood and a more on a comedy or relaxed mode, even though it's also something that is very relevant to us. Again, thank you for joining, depending on your geographical location. Uh, the T-Pain, the T stands from Tinubu, and the pain he has got. It's now officially recognized as his name. Let me put it that way, or added name, and his nickname T-Pain. But when watched it and something came to my mind, I went back again. Like I often tell people that. No matter how you see the Bible, you can never beat it because it tells us everything about life. So, what came to my mind was Proverbs 22, and I'm gonna highlight these. I'm using I took it from the amplified, no, the Message Bible, where it states here that a sterling reputation is better than striking it rich. Is being rich bad? The answer is no. I mean, I would love to be rich. I would love to have a private jet. I would love to have my own. But how did I get it? At what expense? I'll play that. I'll play that video again. It's very interesting when we see it, and I think we're gonna learn a lot from it to so that we'll talk more about it. Let's play it again just for the.
Oyin oyin oyin.
Yes.
T-Pain once said,
Ẹ gbé kíní ìwà èmi ló kàn. Mo sọ pé T-Pain once said.
recruit 50 million youths into the army. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo. Peter. T-Pain once said,
The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Your dinner will be cassava by
Tawa. T-Pain once said.
Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, èmi ló kàn.
Mo sọ pé T-Pain once said.
let the poor breath don't suffocate us. We have that responsibility.
Lanre. T-Pain once said.
Great Nigeria students.
Great.
Very good.
You know when a man once known as one of the wisest man that ever lived on the planet Earth, which is Solomon. When he passed away, his son became the king because God said he will not completely take away the kingdom from David. I mean, from Solomon, because of his for the sake of his servant David. So his son became, I think his name is Jeroboam or Rehoboam. I can't remember. I get confused with that name. And the people came to him and they said, "Listen, the burden or the Jeroboam, Rehoboam, thank you. Your father, the levy your father had on us is too much for us to bear. So could you kindly reduce this burden on us?" He spoke to the elderly ones, and they said, "Listen to the voice of the people, reduce it." Then he went to consult with this his younger generation, and he said, "Listen, don't mind those people, ignore them. In fact, increase the levy." And what did they say to him after he increased the levy? They said, "To your tent, O you Israel, we have nothing to do with the house of David anymore." The pain, all I want to be is to be president by all means. I want to be the CEO. I want to be the star the center of attention. I want the world to revolve around me. At what expense? At whose expense? He has gotten himself a nickname that will never ever leave him as long as he is on planet Earth. T-Pain, given to the policies, the unfriendly or the not people friendly policies, and the advisors he surrounds himself with. And that is why we are where we are today. While we look at him, we should also turn the mirror on ourselves, because it's not just about him. It's not just because he's up there. About we that are below, what we even do to each other. If we look at the mirror, I can say to myself, oh, I'm also a pain. Let me use the word Andrew. No, let me use the word my first name, O Pain. Do I cause pain to my fellow human being? And how do I do that? While we all can make mistakes, it's also for us to find our way back from that mistake. Mr. Tony, I'll yield the floor to you in respect to this. This is going to be, we want to make it a relaxed mood, but at the same time, looking at what I highlighted up there earlier, that a sterling reputation is better than striking it rich. The floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening from. Pastor, thank you for that funny teaser. I think it's and the intro very apt, very relevant, and very instructive. So I thank you, and I thank you for having me here at the platform once again. Yes, I think you just summarized it in a very, in a very, very beautiful way. Nobody will deny that the country is not where it should be. Things are really, really, really bad. And if you go by some of the things that you shared there, I haven't seen the 50 million youths recruited in the army. And from what we hear, cassava, gari, and ewa have gone beyond the reach of the common man. So things are just not working the way it should. The hope that I don't want to use the new title that you gave to Baba. No, that is given to Baba.
I wasn't the one that gave to him. It was a collective decision and was officially announced. So that is. Did you no Atiku, the PDP presidential candidate, addressed him on his X page as T-Pain. That's Atiku.
Okay.
So if Atiku can address him as T-Pain, I mean, it can't be put on me that.
No, the man was smart because what he didn't put Atiku Abubakar, he just put AA. So AA
But
can be.
it was his page, his X page, his picture is there. So
It can be his assistant or his, writing for him. So, but that's a funny one. Yeah, there's a sense in which you can say the man is right because if you if you are trying to analyze the achievements of Babati, that's what I call him. One of his greatest achievements is changing the national anthem from what it used to be to the old one. That's one of his achievements. The other ones he bought our president, because of the enormous type of work that is involved. He needs to be comfortable, so he bought a yacht, and to help presidency so that it can expand the number of aircraft that he has in the pool. So that if one is faulty, you can have spares, you can have the ones you can use. So he increased the fleet, number of planes that you have in the fleet. That's a good one. So that at least president of the greatest country in Africa can be comfortable to do his work. So having said that, I think he has enough to do his work, because now he can relax, he can fly to anywhere he wants. He has everything that it takes, and then he has a citizenry that is ready to endure and tighten their belt and hope and give him some time. So I think he has everything going for him. So I don't see any excuse why he should fail. And so if he's not doing well, the question now is, what is the problem? If you have all these things, because some of which
you said if he is not doing well, sort of suggests as if he is doing well.
No, I told you. Yes, I say he's doing well. I mean, he's increased our fleet, the presidential fleet. He has bought a yacht for the president. He has since he has increased the revenue by taxing, taxing almost every aspect of life, increasing tax. He has succeeded in asking the people to endure and keep on supporting the government, and somehow the people are supporting. They're supporting so far.
And how about the cassava, the agbado, and the yam, and the 50 million is supposed to recruit? Has that been done, sir? I know you have been sarcastic. I recognize that sarcasm.
We're hoping if he can do it, if he can recruit 50 million youths into the army, that would be very, very great. So the people, our youth will be very, very employed. 50 million is quite a lot. And
it's quite a lot, but yes, he has not recruited one. We've not heard of one being recruited so far.
Maybe that's why he's taxing. He's taxing every like Rehoboam. Instead of reducing the yoke, he's increasing it. So maybe that he's looking for the money that he will use to pay the 50 million, because you have to have the money to be able to pay 50 million. That will be a record. If we can have 50 million youths added to the number of the military, which is maybe less than 400,000 or whatever, so that would be great, and that would be the largest army perhaps in the world.
People's once leadership reflects on the people determine whether you are indeed a good leader or not. We'll come to that. But let's look at it in a general, given to the topic that value of good name and honor. Like you said, we also need to turn the mirror at ourselves as citizens.
Yes.
In terms of value of good name and honor in our own little space, where we belong in our community. So what is is it about the name or about the character or the leadership? Because my name can be kindness, and I can be as wicked as any other person. My name can be love. I can harbor hatred or bitterness in my heart. Is it about the name or about the reputation, as it is highlighted there, that a sterling reputation is better than striking it rich?
Well, you started. I just followed you with the way because you started with a teaser. So I'm also adding my own teaser. That's why I made that all that. But like you said, I was just being sarcastic. Yes, good name is better than gold. But you see, in leadership, you don't have to be nice. You know, the principal thing is to do the work. People may not like you, but if you are doing the work, they give you credit. I don't like this man, but he's performing, and nobody can deny that. But if you create a situation where people don't trust you, some don't like you, you don't do the work, then you alienate so many people from you know, there'll be no basis for anybody to see, you know, why that kind of person should continue to be a leader. If you have set goals for yourselves, if you have set things and people trusted you and some voted for you for that reason, and they don't seem to see anything to justify the confidence that they put on you, then is a problem. And I think the problem we have in Nigeria today is that a lot of people some people who had voted for the president today are feeling disappointed that the hope that that they see in him, and some people go back and refer to his performance because I hear that said often and often, and that, you know, when he was governor in Lagos, you know, he was good and so on, and he did this, he did that, he did that, and they don't see, but they fail to realize that, you know, times have changed. The man that you knew 20 years ago is not the same man. The environment has changed, the complexities, and right now you're dealing with Nigeria because Lagos is a much smaller place. Now here you are dealing with, you know, with the entire nation, with its multifarious problems, with the multi-ethnic and religious character that it has. So the problems and the issues are more complex. You know, so in dealing with that, what the president did was to take those people he thought helped him when he was governor and brought them, you know, to the center to help him. But this is the age, at the time he was governor, it was quite a different age. This is the age of technology. This is the age of dealing with a knowledge-based economy, which was not actually what it was, you know, at the time that he was governor. And there are other complexities, you know, that it probably did in the entire environment is different. You know, so I think that probably was not taken into consideration. In this age, you need eggheads. You need people who have the intellectual capacity, who you know, we used to talk about you know, compliant, you know, age compliance. You know, many a few years back. You know, these are people who are old. These are people who don't understand contemporary, or who are not used to contemporary issues are still that concerns the youth, that concerns the nation, that, you know, so they carry this old mindset and impose on a completely different environment that has changed. Its needs, its requirements have completely changed. So you are dealing with I think that probably is the issue. And then you're also dealing with people, essentially young people who need jobs, whose parents have spent so much money to trade. Because at the time I went to the university, you know, a meal was just 50 kobo, and tuition was free. And I could, with just 90 naira for a year, I could pay for my clinic, for my sports, for my hostel accommodation, and so on and so forth. Today, we're dealing with an entirely different situation.
Okay.
So
You said yeah, people have been saying that it made Lagos or it governed Lagos. The argument continues. But I don't want to disagree with you, but I want to put something to you in a different way, because you said because Lagos is smaller and Nigeria as a nation it's bigger than Lagos. But here is a scenario I want to highlight to you. Like I said again, I often recommend people to when they are reading the Bible, they should read it as a literature book. Apply the same grammatical principle the way we read Shakespeare, Hadley Chase, John Gresham book that I often I've read most of it, most of his book. Now, here is a man called David who tended to sheep. His care was for sheep, and he was able to protect the sheep from the bear and from the lion. And as a result, he was chosen to become a king. And he managed, he governed Israel and its surroundings. So the only thing saying that because Lagos is a small state, it performed well. So now is a president of Nigeria, the complexity is different. Don't you think that is not why he is failing, or it just did not govern Lagos as we think it did, and something probably blocking that how do they call it? Preventing us from seeing incapability of governing Lagos State, because there were governors before it became Lagos State who have established some things. I grew up in Lagos State, so there were things that existed before Tinubu became governor of Lagos State. So that comparison, that's an argument that, because Lagos is small, so it was, and Nigeria is. I mean, you're a student of the Bible, so David was tender, and I keep saying this. Sorry for I'm speaking too long. The reason why God chose David was the care, the love for people. That is why God chose David, because David could tender for those sheep and protect animals. And for that reason, God chose him to say, you know what? You can protect or look after my people. Welcome, Mr. James, to this our lunchtime first broadcast of the day. The second broadcast will be coming up late this evening at 8 p.m. West Nigerian time. So we're talking about value of good name and honor. I don't know if you've been following. We played the video earlier. Now, the argument Mr. Tony just brought up, which I am challenging, not disagreeing, I'm challenging, says that, Lagos is a small state, so it performed well. Now it's in Nigeria. And I'm extracting an incident that happened in my literature book called the Bible. David manage animals, and he managed it very well. And the same talent, the same experience he gained in managing animal, he applied the same experience when he was managing human beings, large numbers of human beings. Should that not be the case with Tinubu? If the claim is that he managed Lagos State, should he not be able to manage the country rather than failing? Mr. James, the floor is yours. Then I'll come to Mr. Tony. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Tony.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Mr. James, we're not here. Your volume seems to be a little bit low. Is it possible you speak into the speaker a bit, please?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, good. Thank you. The way I see it is this. This guy was not prepared for leadership. He was only prepared to grab power. This is how I see the bunch of people governing the country today. You see the man they call Obafemi Awolowo. He governed Western Nigeria just the way Bola Tinubu governed Lagos. His accomplishment in Western Nigeria, he repeated it again when, in fact, there was no difference. between his actions during the Action Group era and the UPN era. These are men who prepared for leadership. These guys who are in power today, considering what they did in the past and what they are doing now, you know that they had ulterior motives. That is to plunder the country, and that they are doing it successfully. And one impression I want people to have is this: he never won the election. INEC made him president of Nigeria. So it's puzzling to me when people are saying that people voted for him when the election was flawed. If you ask me, as I always say, what would have Bola Tinubu scored if the election was free and fair? I will tell you, I don't know. I don't know what Showore would have scored. I don't know what Atiku would have scored, because INEC robbed us of that opportunity. So whenever we are analyzing the election results, we should forget all about the votes. They allocated them. It was vote allocation. That is one thing. Then it is not true that he beat Lagos. If he beat Lagos, why are people still going to the overseas for medical treatment? Why are people still sending their children to private schools? What about the water supply scheme in Lagos? So many things which he did. In Benue State, where I come from, and Bruce Ali did just one thing thoroughly, and that is education. The schools he opened are still in existence. In fact, they are the leading high schools in Edo Delta today. Benue State University, Ekpoma, he established it, and that university is growing. If Ali had not governed Benue State, I just wonder what would have happened to the children of Edo Delta today. These are men who left their legacies, who left their footprints in the sands of time. Bola Tinubu was not prepared for leadership. Now, being a pro-democracy advocate in those days, we expect much of him to do far better than the military. Time will not permit me. If I list the things Samuel Ogbomudia did in Benin City during his time, you will glorify military administration and vilify civilian administration. So this is how I see it. So anyway, the issue of a good name is better than whatever it is. Good, in my opinion, good and bad are relative. What is good to you might be bad to me, and what is bad to me might be good to you. So if good name is better than honor, or honor is better than good name, is relative. It depends on how people see it.
Mr. Tinubu, the president, he has earned a name, T-Pain, meaning that Tinubu and causing Nigerians pain. So it's officially now known as T-Pain, and Atiku Abubakar also recognizes that. Not that he's any better than Tinubu, my opinion. I recognize Tinubu to be T-Pain. So that's what we call him going forward. We don't address him as President Tinubu anymore. He is addressed as T-Pain. Violating his new name may lead most of us to prison. If you call him President Tinubu, they may be upset at you. So, Mr. James, going forward, he is T-Pain. Yeah. Mr. James, you will have more time this evening. We have a very good discussion. We're going to be having a good discussion this evening, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. You see, when we said value of good name, it's not necessarily because my name can be good names, and I may be the baddest person. I may be inflicting pain. So it's not necessarily the name itself, but my person, my personality, my character, particularly in position of leadership. Because I give an example in case the son of David, Rehoboam or Jeroboam, when the people came to him to reduce taxes, and he says, no, he listened to what? To the younger ones. And so even though his father was a good man, his grandfather was a good man, and people expect the same thing to continue. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So it's not about the name, my name itself, it's about me being good and doing everything within my power to ensure that I do right by my fellow human beings. So, Mr. Tony, I've been a student of the Bible. I just highlighted. I'm challenging your argument where you said Lagos State is a small state. It's a small place compared to Nigeria. And Mr. James, I'm agreeing with Mr. James that it wasn't prepared for leadership. Or in fact, it was all pretension. And this is my own opinion. All the while in Lagos State, I grew up in Lagos State, and a lot of things have existed. Jakonde, I'm one of the beneficiary of free education in Lagos. And like what Mr. James said, where are the hospitals? If he actually built Lagos State, and this is also, I yield the floor to you. I can continue going on, and Mr. Tony, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Brother James, to the discussion. I think Electric, you probably didn't quite get my flow. I said that usually you hear people say Lagos is not Abuja, Lagos is not Nigeria, and so on and so forth. In a sense, Lagos is a microcosm of Nigeria in terms of also its complexities, its the nature of the people who live and work in Lagos. But what I meant by that Lagos is a smaller place is that in terms of the complexities of the job that is involved, you cannot compare the job of just being a governor to that of being a president of a country like Nigeria. So, so that's what I meant, Now I'm saying that.
Sorry for interjecting you. I want to reverse something back now. I'm going to do a reverse, reverse something back now. Will you hold the same position or this argument if P2B is the president and he was governor of, just like Tinubu, of Anambra State 2 times? Would you hold the same argument?
Okay.
If he's performing.
Okay, I'll touch all that, but let me just lay the background and clear and make some clarifications in terms of my earlier statements. If we go to, you made references to David, to Rehoboam, Solomon, and then a few days ago we talked about Nehemiah, and we looked at leadership. And permit me to just say one or two things about discussion in connection to Nehemiah. And we saw that there was a preparation. There was a challenge and there was a preparation. So he knew what the problem was. He was ready to tackle the problem. He dealt with both the spiritual and the physical dimension of the problem, asking God for guidance and leadership. So he was a man that was prepared, to go and help to address the problem that his people were facing. And he succeeded. And he had a vision, and he did that in good time and followed it up. Now, if we come to David, you see that David, like you said, was a shepherd boy, first of all. And by some divine providence, God chose him, as a king to replace Saul, who faltered. See, before you can become a shepherd, you have to become a sheep. You will understand the needs of the sheep. That's the only way you can be able to, when you take over the role of a shepherd, because you already know what the sheep would require, and you have a mindset to protect the sheep, then you can be a good shepherd. Now, so David was prepared spiritually, and you know that David, even after he was made a king, he was anointed by Samuel, he was attached to Saul, although for a different reason. So right there, he would have had the experience, the initial experience of royalty, of kingship. Ministering to Saul, Saul had a spiritual problem, so he would play his flute and so on and so forth. So he already had a base with the palace, okay, in preparation to take over from Saul. And that's the spiritual, that has a spiritual grinding, a spiritual.
Sorry, Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony, I am going to interject you here. Please pardon me for doing this. You see, this is our problem. I use the word our problem, particularly in Nigeria. We over spiritualize everything, and that is why we are no, Mr. Tony. I'm sorry that I interject you, and you see that is why we are where we are today. We come to the diaspora. We come to this part of the world. We present our CV to look for job and everything, and they don't attach this spiritual aspect. They look at our CV. So when we now start to, David was dealing with animals. So let's be clear here. He was dealing with animals, and the care and the concern he has for those animals is the same concern he carried over in taking care of what? Of human beings. So if Tinubu is the one that made Lagos, the idea that he has, that is the argument or the claim by some people that he made Lagos. So that idea should also still be in him, because he is not living in America. He lived in Nigeria. He's seen everything. And if he made Lagos or he built Lagos, Nigeria should not be difficult for him. I don't want us, please, with due respect, I want us to look at these things literally. We must not
Electric, you are not allowing me. You're not allowing me to you are trying to create a background to answer the question that you put to me, but you are distracting me. You're putting you're throwing in so many things. So you can't understand. I think you give me some time so that I can weave what I'm trying to say in a way that
remember we have Mr. James here as well too. So just go ahead, sir.
So because you mentioned these biblical characters, so I'm using them, to create the background, for the issue that we're talking about. So I'm saying that yes, the credential that David presented when he went to war against, when he found himself, trying to stand for his nation against the Philistines, was when he was telling Saul, these are the things that he flaunted before him. When a beast came, I fought it, I killed it with my bare hands and so on. Those are the credentials that he presents. But I'm saying, because we're taking things from the spiritual. That's what you just mentioned, the scripture you quoted and the characters that you mentioned, biblical characters. And so I'm following your logic, and I'm saying that, listen, there is a preparation. To become a leader, if you want to be a good leader, you must be prepared. That's one. Two, you must have a vision of what you want to. You must have an idea of the problem that you want to deal with, how enormous it is, and what the resources that you need, the materials that you need, the team that you need, to be able to grapple with the problem. And I'm saying that, yes, he was a governor. I'm not saying he built Lagos. I didn't say he built Lagos. Everybody contributed one way or the other in building Lagos. One man cannot build Lagos. But I'm saying that he has been a governor. He was a governor for 8 years. He was a senator and so on. He had some experience. And people feel, I hear it every time. People feel, oh, he built Lagos. I didn't say, oh, he built Lagos, so he should be able to do this job. That's what they say. That's just not me just saying it. Whether he's the only one who built Lagos or so is for people to, but definitely he was not the only one. So I'm saying that, so with that mindset, even with what people are saying, the thinking that because, quote unquote, he built Lagos, so he should be able to be a good leader. That doesn't, for me, that doesn't make sense. Because I'm saying that Nigeria is a more complex country. There are more complex issues. So if his criteria, if the thinking is that because he built Lagos and people can dispute that, even his contribution, whether what he did or whether he did well or he didn't do well, It depends on the school of thought where you belong. That was for those who voted. There were those who voted for him. There were those who voted. James, we can put. There were those who voted for him. So people who voted for him or who think that he will make a good leader, that was what the points that they put forward, that because he did X, Y, and Z, therefore he is a good candidate to become president and he will do well. But you remember we started this discussion by saying he promised recruiting 50 million youths and all that, and we're saying we haven't seen the 50 million youths recruited now. We haven't seen cassava and agbado right now. But the point I'm trying to make is that the problem that we have today is that the reason why I brought Nehemiah is that I don't believe that he was actually truly prepared to take up this mantle that he had. Because if we use these biblical characters we are talking about, you would see that, from what we have seen so far, almost 2 years, it does not, to me, and that's my opinion, it doesn't seem as if he actually knew what the problem was. It doesn't seem as if he was truly prepared for this job. So that is why you see somebody after he has taken over the job, whether we voted for him or we didn't vote for him, whether INEC put him there, INEC didn't put him there. When someone gets the position of office that he has now, begins to say, "Oh, the people who came before me, they were so bad. That's not an excuse." Obi would say, you are supposed to know. You are like Nehemiah. You're supposed to assess the problem. You're supposed to know, at least have an idea of what the problem is. Have a team. Have an idea of what you're going to do. I mean, ab initio, so that when you get there, it's not as if you begin to give excuse. "Oh, I thought, this problem was so much. It was the bad government that was there. That's why I'm not performing." Nobody wants to hear that. You are there as a leader. The reason why you are a leader is to fix problems. So you can't give excuse because you were not there. You are not there to give excuses. You are there as a leader to solve problems. So the people who have gone before have gone. They've made their mistake. They have gone. Now you are the leader. You fix the problem, not giving excuses, not trying to put the blame on somebody. So we'll see. For me, we'll see that right now there appears to be not quite a good understanding of what the issues are. And so we see trial and error, tinkering with this, thinking with it, policies, unstable policies. Today you do this, you change, tinkering with this and that, and it's not working. And that's why we're where we are. Now you asked about Obi. You asked me about if Obi was there and so on and so forth. Well, I can only suggest, I can only prognosticate because Obi is the governor. We've seen what he did, but going by what he says, is wanting to say, present a vision, but it's starting to walk the talk, So for me, even though what Obi says, looks like good ideas that can, move us forward, but we are yet still to see how that can be practicalized in concrete terms, because there are other issues, there are other complex issues that you have to deal with. Like you said, the people, Rehoboam was not prepared. Rehoboam came in, he was a young man, he was youthful, and so when he came in there, I believe, if you go to the Bible, he didn't have the kind of experience and wisdom that his father Solomon had.
Okay, Mr. Tony, we will leave this aspect for our usual Wednesday. But Mr. James, because you're taking me to a place where saying Rehoboam does not have the experiences and that is young. There was a king that became there was a child that was a king and was protected and was trained at the age of 7 or 8 years on the back.
Yeah,
Mr. James, we're looking at Tinubu's CV. Oh, no, sorry, apology. T-Pain CV. So we have to be very careful to address him with the right name. We're looking at, it was governor 8 years. It was senator before he became governor. Now, is that not enough work experience to be able, for somebody to have, to be able to turn Nigeria around? Let's say that is the case. Is that not enough work experience for somebody to have who lives in Nigeria, knows the problem of Nigeria? Because the problem of Nigeria is not eating. Is that not enough for him to be able to turn the country around?
Let us look at it this way. The few leaders we've had in the past who left their footprints in the sands of time, like Latif Jakonde of Lagos, Bola Ige, I think of, I can't remember, is it
Mr. James, we're not hearing you very well, please. Do you mind? Sorry.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's okay now.
Let me see, because anyway. So the point I'm making is the few leaders we've had in the past who left their footprints in the sands of time, like Ambrose Ali of Benue State, Latif Jakonde of Lagos, and others, even Awolowo and others, they had no political experience in manning offices before they were able to excel. Even one of them, Samuel Ogbomudia, what that man did, no governor in the whole of Nigeria can break his record in our lifetime. He was not even a high school graduate. He stopped in Form 4 at Western Boys High School, Benin City. He was a military man, taught how to oil artillery and shoot guns. But when he became governor, it was something else. He left his footprints clearly in the sands of time. We still remember him till tomorrow. So the issue of Bola Tinubu being this or that, I mean, it's irrelevant from my own point of view, because people have told Sowore that he should go and start as a local government chairman. Although I don't support any party, I'm just citing it as an example. They should go and start from local government service and things like that, and rise before becoming president. But this is a man who has dedicated all his life to public service. He has been serving the public since his university days till now. So what experience do you want him to acquire to enable him to become president? So it's not a question of experience. Now, you remember during the validatory speech or so? Anyway, at the Senate, there was a senator, they call it Bukachua, or something like that. Bukachua.
Kachua, that the wife was a judge, if I'm correct. Is it the one that?
Very good, very good. That is a man who has spent all his life in public service. But the revelation he made means that in the so-called public service, they are just there to perfect the act of corruption, polluting the system. So if Bola Tinubu was governor of Lagos, people have said a lot of horrendous things about him. How they manage the funds in Lagos, people are not talking well about that. And as I've said earlier on, what are the legacies he left behind? Is it in the education sector, electricity, water supply? You mentioned something that he did, which nobody in Lagos history has ever done. So the idea of saying Bola Tinubu built Lagos is erroneous. He never built the seaport, he never built the airport, the universities. What exactly has he done? And what are the legacies? Why are children still going to schools in the overseas? Why are they going to private schools? Why is it that people selling bottled water are making, their businesses are booming while public water supply system is defective? So these are issues I'm looking at. So it's not a question of experience. Forget experience. As far as governing African countries are concerned, for one reason, what we're asking for are just basic necessities, which Western countries no longer take into consideration in their electionary campaigns. A U.S. presidential candidate, like Kamala Harris or whatever they call her, she cannot go to Chicago and tell them, I will give you water, I will give you electricity. She will fail catastrophically, because what we are asking for does not require any iota of experience to provide the people. So when they are dealing with foreign policies and complex issues, nuclear programs, space research, experience matters. but not with supplying water, how to tar roads, how to build primary schools and things like that. You don't need any fucking experience. So this is how I see it. And we should get something clear. We are being very critical of Mr. Tinubu because he's not performing. But this man never gave you and me any clear-cut manifesto. He refused to attend presidential debates. No Nigeria took him to task. So why are we complaining now?
Exactly.
He
assigned his question. They assigned his question for other people to answer.
Very good. Like Bruce Lee, I always mention on this program, when he was vying for governorship, he made it clear that my cardinal program is education. And they asked him questions. He answered a lot of questions comprehensively. And when he started the program, he was not running from pillar to post. He was focused. Unlike the people who are there now. Now, you look at the horrendous state of the Nigerian economy. What is happening to the resources of the state? Now, this is a man who claimed to be finding things difficult. Whereas the main revenue, avenue for the state, crude oil sales, there's colossal crude oil theft going on right now. What has he done as a head of state to check this problem? If they really mean well for the nation, because that's the bread basket of Nigeria, the Niger Delta, the crude oil resources there. It's been stolen by Nigerians. So what has he, as head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, done to correct that anomaly? Look at security problem in the Northeast. In fact, throughout northern Nigeria. What has he done to make, to show that he is different from Buhari's administration? So I just believe that we are no serious people as Nigerians. All Nigerians, including myself, we are no serious people because Aristotle said, if people get the government they deserve, this is the government we deserve. This is why we are tolerating him. If not, we should know what to do. We are not tired of saying we are tired. When we are tired of saying we are tired, we will know what to do. So this is my opinion.
Electric, can I come in there?
Just briefly, just 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Go ahead.
2 minutes is small. Yes, I heard Brother James speak. First of all, Obasanjo, Yaradua did not attend any presidential debate or whatever. They didn't, so it's not new. And Obasanjo, made some contributions. Yaradua, he didn't have enough time, but he tried his bit. So it's neither here nor there. It's not that for me. It's not something new. Obemudia, Obemudia, I used to be my state. My state used to be part of that state, and you cannot use a military government to compare to a civilian government because under a military government, you don't have all the institutions as you have in democracy. It's a military rule. It rules by decree. So they do what they want. So that analysis would not is not a good comparison, to make. I can contest the fact. Your statement that Obasanjo, that Bumudia was the best governor ever. Nobody. That's contestable. It's a sweeping generalization. I think we can contest it. We can contest it. But to go back to the issue that we're talking about, the point that I'm making is nobody is saying that the current president is doing well. That the current government at the federal level is doing well. No, nobody is saying that. That would be a complete misnomer for anyone to say that. That's not correct. What I'm trying to say is that in coming for taking the office of president, the US that you mentioned, Mr. James, Barack Obama was a senator. If you look at most of the presidents that you have had, they have had experience either in business or in public service. So experience is critical. You can't just come. You can't just be a novice and just go and yes, it's possible, but experience is critical. Experience in managing people, experience in managing the administration, managing a company. There has to be experience. If you are looking for a job, they ask for your CV, and the whole essence is they're not just looking at your qualification. They're also looking at if you have the competencies, to do the job. So in some cases, they pay more attention to the experience that you have had. So if we say that experience is not critical in administration, in rulership, in leadership, then I don't think that is right. Now,
Sorry, Mr. Tony, I don't think Mr. James alluded to such. I stand to be corrected.
he didn't say that experience is not necessary. He said it quite clear. He said experience is not necessary.
Okay, Mr. James,
So
I'll leave you to respond to that. Mr. Tony, I'll come to you. I'll give you more time.
What I said is this: governing an African country of today, experience is immaterial. Let me tell you why. Latif Jakonde, was he a governor? Was he a senator? This is a man who still speak well up to today. And Bruce Ali was a university lecturer, I think professor of pathology or something like that at the University of Benin.
Morbid anatomy.
Okay, he had no political experience.
But as a professor, I mean, what of his academic experience?
Excuse me.
Are you dismissing that?
Let me tell you something. While you were talking, I kept quiet. I was mute. If you talk about academic experience, the academic experience we are talking of people in Nigeria today is wishy-washy. When I walk here in the Gambia, if you hear and see and notice what Nigerian professors are doing, you will vomit. You get the point? Ogbemudia was a military man. How do I put it? We are demonizing military administration today in Nigeria. But what the military did, if I start listing it, it's very surprising. It's amazing compared to what civilian administration have done for 25 years. Ogbemudia and Yakubu Gowon and others were in office for just 8 years. But what they did, we don't have the time. I would have started enumerating most of these things. Most of the leading public universities we have today, they were set up by the military during the military dispensation. The present road network linking the east with the west, linking the various states, major road networks were laid down during Yakubu Gowon's time. Third mainland bridge. In fact, I just cannot mention most of these things right now. Experience to supply water. What experience do you need to supply water? What experience do you need to build houses for primary school and secondary school? The experience does not matter in governing a modern African state. This is the point I'm making. But when you are dealing with industrialized states, dealing with problems of space research, new ballistic missiles production, to relate with people internationally and nations internationally, yes, experience counts. But look, when I was living in Benin City, let me tell you, most of the things we ask for today, these were things the British did during the days of Bola Ahmed, like secondary schools, roads, hospital, and prison yards, and those. During the days of Bola Ahmed in 1897, that was when the British concluded all those things. Go and listen to British prime ministership debate today, or US presidential debate. None of them talk about water supply, electricity supply, gas supply, road networks. They don't talk about it. They talk about terribly serious things. So we are too elementary to compare ourselves with the United States, Canada, and other highly industrialized countries. This is the point I'm making.
Thank you.
What we need is sincerity. We need sincere men and women to run their. Look, Ambrose Ali had the opportunity to empty the treasury. His children were schooling in Nigeria. They never took them abroad. Whenever he falls sick, he receives his treatment in Nigeria. This is the point I'm making. We need sincere men and women, not dirty experience like that of Bukachua and others who, I mean, we are not serious people. I've said it. Aristotle said, the people get the government they deserve. This is what
Thank
we
you very
deserve.
Thank you, Mr. James. There's one thing the three of us here cannot disagree with. All the people are asking is a basic amenity, in particular, electricity. And that's why you see my stage name is electricity. That is if we get electricity going in Nigeria, trust me, Mr. Tony, you and I will return back to Nigeria tomorrow. If we get electricity going in Nigeria, I can guarantee you I'm packing my bag and baggages. I'm heading back home without seeking the face of the Lord or seeking the face of God if I'm to return back home. Also, there's one thing I want to point out again, that yes, it's not obligatory for anyone to attend a presidential debate if they don't want to. However, if you attend a presidential debate or a debate, it is expected of you to speak, to talk, to answer questions, not delegate questions to other people to answer for you. So him going for the Chatham House, I don't know the name they call it. Why they even went to Chatham House, I still don't understand. This can be done in Nigeria. Waste of money. You should be able to answer questions that you've been asked, not delegated to what? To somebody. When you become president, you can start to delegate. Because these are the things that people will look at. Now, I know we don't have time. This is our first broadcast. Mr. Tony, I sent you a message on the private chat. I don't know if you saw it. If you can go to the private chat and look at the message I sent you, it's for this evening program. Mr. James, I will say I will get in touch with you. We're going to have another broadcast this evening. Over the week, I will bring both of you here. Let's have this discussion. You see, I'm sorry, I tend to agree with Mr. James in the sense that, in fact, Nigerians, the leaders, I believe some of them have more experience than even Donald Trump and Joe Biden, if they are sincere with themselves. Because most of them have been in government for years. Some of them are businessmen. So they have that experience to change the trajectory or the story of the country, but because they are not sincere. So, gentlemen, this broadcast is supposed to be for 1 hour. I would like to thank you, both of you, for coming. Don't forget tonight. Tonight is very, very important. We'll be there for 3 hours and maximum time 3 hours. So I'm going to start straight away in tonight's broadcast. We will be having a guest, a gubernatorial candidate of Ondo State, Mr. James Ajayi Wiseman will be here. It's a two-section we're having tonight. First, we will focus on Ajayi, Mr. Wiseman Ajayi. Then we will go into the main discussion. If he wishes to stay with us, he can stay with us. So, gentlemen, I would like to thank those of you on the comment section. James, McAnally sends his regards to Mr. James and Mr. Tony. Sorry, I can't highlight a comment right now. I will do that in the evening. So, again, I'd like to thank every one of you for joining. Mr. James, thank you very much. Hopefully, I will see you tonight and have a lovely evening.
Oyin.
Yes.
TP once said.
Ẹgbẹ́ kìíní ìwà èmi ló kàn. Mo sọpẹ́. TP once said.
Recruit 50 million youths into the army. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo. Peter. TP once said.
The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Your dinner will be cassava by our
Tawa. TP once said.
Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, èmi ló kàn.
Mo sọpẹ́. TP once said.
Let the poor breath don't suffocate us. we have that responsibility.
Larry. T-Pain once said.
Very good.
Nigeria's call to serve our fatherland. We love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom. In freedom. In freedom. Peace and unity. Arise, my people, arise, my people.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah. Before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. This by the end of the year. How are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.